What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the More Than Love podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran.
And I'm your co-host, Jay Bible.
Tonight we are going to be talking about the struggle, men's addiction to new pussy, and we're going to be talking about a lot of aspects of that dynamic. It's always something that is real controversial or becomes a heated topic. Because the details and the truth about how men feel about those things often rubs a lot of women the wrong way. But I just wanted to I've been getting a lot of questions about this subject matter, so figured this would be a great topic to do the podcast on. So this should be a pretty interesting conversation tonight, Jay. What you think?
Absolutely. I'm ready to get this one going.
All right, yeah, man. But before we get into the topic of the night, we start the podcast off with the segment that we call Terry's Top 3, where we basically highlight the most 3 interesting or controversial posts from my Instagram page at Terry Duran. And we'll actually be introducing something new we're going to be doing for the show a little bit later. But let's start it off. The first post that we're going to be talking about this week is a video that was sent to me, which was a clip from the Steve Harvey show. Let's take a look.
Good for you. So a brother can take me out, and I'm good paying it for myself if I need to. And I'm not going to necessarily hold
But why
that
would you
against
need to, though? That ain't right. Fellas, that ain't
down.
right.
Turn it down.
Fellas, that is not how it works. Now, I don't know what your daddy told you, but that ain't how the game go. You know, women's lib is cool. I'm all for equal pay, equal work. Women deserve the rights, all of that. But you got to take care of a woman. If you're not willing to do that, what are you doing? What you doing? There are 3 ways a man shows his love: protect, profess, and provide. Provision is big for men. We take a woman out, we're paying. That's the man way. If you sitting up in here and you got to have her pay for her own damn food, that ain't the man way. See, we done stopped teaching young dudes how to be men. It's the man way.
Now, I agree with what he said, but he merged kind of 2 different things together when he responded to the woman talking, right? There's one thing to talk about going on a first date and springing on a woman at the last minute. Oh, nah, you got to pay for your own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think most men are going to view that as fucked up. Like, that's foul for anybody to do, especially if they're the one that initiated the date or invited you out, right? But he went from talking about that specific scenario to providing for a woman. Like, those are 2 completely different things. What you're doing with someone on a first date or when you first met them, and then talking about providing for a woman in the sense of what a man's going to do for his wife or the woman he's with long term. Those are 2 drastically different things, right? Now,
I mean, I agree with the premise of what he's saying, but like you said, he kind of went off into 2 different things. There's one thing, you take somebody on a date. Obviously, if a man invites a woman out, we're gonna assume that the man's gonna pay for it. Like, I don't think most. And what happens, guy goes out and says, hey, let's go out and go get something, invite her out on a date and says,
yeah, man. I mean,
I'm having a good time, but you know what? I think you should pay your portion of the meal.
Like, yeah, that has to be an awkward situation. Like, I've never.
Right. Now, like you said, you hit it on the head when you said the last part, a man tries to block. But that's something you do for your wife, for somebody that you're with, that you're going to have a potential family with. Not
right.
Somebody that you're on a first date with.
Yeah. First date, getting to know somebody, you're not held to that level of expectation. Right? Now, I don't think there was anything wrong with what he said about professing, providing, and protecting, or what I forgot the 3 P's, but I agree they were in his book. But I agree with those things to a degree. Provide from a male perspective can just mean providing steady income to the household, providing stability, making sure that we got the necessities. Like the problem with that is a lot of women get to define what the word provide means to them. You know what I'm saying? And so it just provide means I gotta have this bag, and then he gotta pay for my nails, and he gotta pay for this. Like, no, that's
well, that's what I think. That's where provide. That's where it becomes subjective there.
Yeah, I mean,
they're writing their own narrative for provide. They put their own definition in front of provide.
Right. I mean, providing means making sure that you have a resource that is always there for you 24/7. Like, that don't mean that he got all the money in the world. That don't mean that he buy you everything that you want. That don't mean that he can get you out of every situation you get yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like you can't fix every problem he encounters. That's not a fair expectation for anybody to have of the person that they're with. They're supposed to provide you support. They're supposed to hold you down when things go wrong. If need be, they're supposed to go through the lumps and accept the negativity with you. That's what they sign up for. They don't sign up to be Captain Save-A-Hole where they can just rescue you and save you from every situation in the world. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women unrealistically have that expectation of men. Where, no, I shouldn't have to pay for anything. I should just live this wonderful rich person lifestyle just because I'm fucking a dude consistently and spending time with him on a regular basis. Like, no.
Right. I mean, don't get it wrong. Guys still gonna fuck you, but once you get tired, that's what it is.
All right, let's see. Where was the next post that I wanted to talk about? All right, this is a post that was sent to me, and it said, just because he called and texted you does not mean he is interested in you. A truly interested man will stop at nothing to actively pursue you, and you would not need to guess. Now, this quote obviously got a big reaction out of women. And the thing that I have an issue with is, it said just because he called and texted you does not mean he's interested. Excuse me. If the first thing that indicates somebody's interested in communicating with you is them calling and texting you. If your boss call and text your phone, that lets you know that they are interested in speaking with you about something. So if somebody that you know is interested in you romantically calls and texts you, that is a clear indication that they're interested in communicating with you. So I completely disagree with that. Just because they hit you up don't mean they interested. Now, that can mean that they don't feel like you're the one, or they're not in love with you. But that does not mean that they're clearly showing interest. Like,
well, yeah, there's definitely some interest at some type of level if they're texting or calling you.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think they're texting or calling you just to be texting and calling just because they have nothing better to do.
It's possible that somebody could be doing that, but even then, if somebody just hit you up just because they was bored, that still means they thought about you. That still means that they want to engage with you, and it's up to you to make the conversation interesting.
But then, here's where I find another thing where it's rather funny that somebody's doing shit won't stop at nothing to get you. So I mean.
Yeah, that's the part I was about to get to.
Like, there shouldn't be any kind of threshold for what he would do to try to get you. I mean, that's like saying, hey, listen, just not show him any, not reciprocate the interest in any way, and he should still chase you after if he's really interested in you.
Yeah, that's you know a lot of chicks believe that. A lot of them believe that a man should chase them and pursue them, even if they are not showing interest back. Even if they're not doing anything that would indicate to him that they want him to continue pursuing her or whatnot. And that's the part that's unrealistic. And so that's where this post starts to create the nonsense that I'm constantly talking about. So a truly interested man will stop at nothing. Yes, he will. You ignore a person's text or calls 3 or 4 times. he's gonna stop hitting your ass up.
Right.
And that don't mean he's not a real man. It don't mean he wasn't really interested either. It means you display that you wasn't interested in him and he reacted accordingly. The same way any logical woman would do. If you reach out to somebody 3-4 times, like, yeah, it's possible somebody's busy. Somebody just forgot to hit you up. Somebody, you know what I'm saying, like, meant to hit you up, but their daughter was crying. Like, it's possible that somebody can go a day or two without actually getting back to you. But if you have reached out to somebody multiple times and a couple of days went past and they have not responded to you in any way, then that means that you are not high enough on their priority list, that you should not continue to put them on make them a priority on yours.
Right.
That don't mean block them. That don't mean delete their number. That don't mean get an attitude and act like they ain't shit. It means that the timing didn't line up or they're not really interested. You don't know for certain what it is, so don't act like you know. Just let the situation be what it is. If you get a logical explanation, you can decide whether if you want to engage with that person again or not. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to have some negative knee-jerk reaction to a dating situation not just going perfect just how you planned it. And that's where a lot of women end up hurting themselves and ruining potential dating situations.
I mean, I don't understand the logic behind it. Like I said, most guys that have success with women, I mean, after the first couple of times, you know, they're gonna be like, okay, well, she's not interested. They're gonna say, okay, she's not interested, and I'm just gonna move on to the next person here.
Yeah, I mean, people get love and feelings cause people to do things that logic and common sense would kind of steer you from. You know what I mean? But that's just the nature of the game. A lot of people can't control, or they're so anxious to have that happy ending and that they ignore, what did old boy say? He said they're bleaching the red flags. They trying to turn them white. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what they're constantly doing. They're finding reasons to accept something that doesn't make sense, that they know they're going to have a problem with, that they know is not going to make them unhappy. Like, if you could spot that early on, why commit to that person? Why put yourself in that predicament? You know what I'm saying? And that goes for men and women. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people fail the dating phase. This last post that we're going to talk about was a post that I was sent to me. It said, my girl is constantly complaining about me looking at attractive women on Instagram, even though I've explained that I don't comment or communicate with them. She says a grown-ass man doesn't need to look at other women. This is the second girl that I've dated that had this issue. What is going on? Now, I had a lot of women when I posted this in the comments. They use one insecure woman or some woman's negative behavior to justify the other woman's behavior. And so there were women saying things like, well, if this is the second woman, he's obviously the problem, as if insecurity is not a extremely common thing that is very likely to occur between two women. You know what I'm saying? Like, lots of women are insecure about men and social media, etc. So, but in this scenario, this dude is simply looking at women. He's not trying to fuck them. He's not sliding in their DM. He's not posting emojis under their pic. He's not commenting about how sexy they are. He's simply admiring their beauty or their attractiveness and restraining his behavior to respect his relationship.
Right.
But women, a lot of women don't view it that way.
Yeah, right. And they say, oh, well, he's the problem that two women are insecure. I mean, that one I don't say. I mean, like I said, it could be a possibility that he just happened to come across two very insecure women.
Right. You know what's funny about that, Jay?
And he's, you know, I'm guessing he's just liking the pictures and just...
He said
he
just looked. Like, I know there are men that don't double tap pictures just to avoid negativity and drama with their girl. But there is at no point in time have men not enjoyed looking at attractive women.
Right. You know, I mean, they're not corresponding here, so I don't see the problem. I mean, think of it like this. Okay. As for a lady, would you have a problem with your man watching porn? Now, if the answer to that is no, why would you have a problem with it?
But you know, the thing about that is, even if you don't want him to do it, you can't control him. You're not his parent.
No, not at all.
So whether a woman wants to give her man permission to watch porn or not, don't really fucking matter. She's not in a position to be able to dictate what he looks at and what he gets stimulated by.
Whether or not she gives him permission to watch porn, I'm saying if she
but
does watch porn and she doesn't have a problem with it.
But see, that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure the woman that
men are used to dealing with insecure behaviors, so they adapt. Oh, you got in an argument because she went off on a rant about porn before, so you know she's insecure about porn, so you just delete your history and shit, so she don't. Mm-hmm. Even though
I don't see how. I mean, it's not possible for you to have sex name the woman that you see from some random person you see over the internet. And I don't see anywhere to correspond with that person. So don't feel possible.
Insecurity is very rarely gonna make logical sense. It's very rarely gonna make logical sense. Somebody that believes that a woman that believes every time her man don't answer the phone, that means he's fucking some other chick. Common sense would tell you, if you feel that strongly or you think he's that dirty, you don't need to be with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing too. You know, and a lot of these when you hear these things, you know, oh, well, I've been with my man 3 years, 4 years, and then he says, well, like you said, why choose to stay with him if it's that bad? If you think he's doing X, Y, and Z, every chance you turn around, he's trying to mess with the next thing, then why stay with him?
I mean, there are always other reasons and other things that get factored into the equation, but that simple logic, you would think you can try to explain insecure behavior with some common sense or something an insecure or a person that is secure within themselves or their relationship would do. It's never going to line up. If you are secure within your relationship and you actually trust your partner, you don't think that they're going to fuck the partner. You assume your partner's going to curve them. You assume that they're going to respect your relationship. So you're not doing all these cheat-proof my relationship tactics that don't work, by the way.
Well, at the end of the day, listen, if a man wants to go out and cheat and fuck another chick, he's going to do it. Nothing you do.
Just like a woman will. Just like a woman will. If a woman wants to cheat on her man, she will. You know what I mean? Like, so there's nothing. We all have to face the possibility that we could possibly get cheated on.
I think a lot of times, you know, when women, you know, I'm pretty sure you see this on the page. A lot of women say, well, maybe if I would have did, she would have cheated or did that. And a lot of times it has nothing to do with her. It has to do with the man. He just chose to cheat for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, man. It's usually not just one thing. It's usually, we're very complex people. It's usually a combination of things. It could be they were missing something out the relationship. And they was just somewhere and they was drinking and smoking and they was kind of under the influence. And this bad chick was twerking and dancing near him. And she started flirting. Like, it's a combination of things that lead to him rubbing on her booty and talking to her and saying, let's go to the car. Like, he might not have planned on doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might not have went to the bar thinking, I'm gonna eat some pussy in the car. I'm gonna get my dick sucked in the truck. Like, sometimes things like that happen where you make bad judgment and you keep going. You have another drink. You know what I'm saying? Like, people do stuff like that where they make decisions and do things that they end up regretting. Men and women do. You know what I mean? Like, that's what makes us human. So, when you talking about, you know, cheating and how men feel about it and how that impacts the feelings he has towards his woman, Like there's no way to predict or give an absolute answer on how men are going to respond to that, because it's going to vary on a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Like the caliber of the woman, how he feels about the relationship, what they, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of it goes into it, but it doesn't automatically mean he don't give a fuck. You can't just put it all up, sweep it all up under in that folder, because that does not that really don't represent most situations. Most men are not in a committed relationship with a woman they don't give a fuck about. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and so to just go from he's in love, he's doing his thing, to not giving a fuck, you're leaving out a whole bunch of gray area where he's
Right. Well, you know, and I think, you know, this will tie into our topic of why, you know, men have sex and men, you know, like to feel getting these pussy together. You know, I think some of that are reasons why, you know, men usually act, you know, and that will tie into the topic we'll talk about later on here.
All right, let's get into our new segment.
Yeah. So the new segment we're doing is talk to the Terry. Wait, that's it. Hold on.
No, I thought it was
Tell him, Terry. Yeah, guy, you got that one out. So, hold on. Let's do this again here. So we're introducing a new segment to our listeners here. It's called Tell him Terry, and the way this will work, listeners of the podcast, you can DM the podcast page, the More Than Love at the More Than Love podcast. DM us your questions, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick the top questions I've seen there, and I'm going to ask them to Terry, and he's going to give his reaction on it, and he'll give his take on it. So it'll be kind of like a rapid fire session there.
Yeah, so I think that'll be great. People can submit their questions to the DMs, because my DMs are certainly over flooded. So we're talking about the DM page on the Instagram page for the More Than Love podcast. If you go to our Instagram page and follow us, you can keep track of what's going on with the podcast. And submit your DMs. Jay will select the ones that he finds the most interesting, and we'll get a reaction to some on the podcast. So let's see what we got this week, man, to start us off.
Let's see. Hi, Terry. I get when you say women should not go into a dating situation expecting anything from that person, and it takes time to get to know someone, etc., etc. But there are not time frames in a man's life when he knows, one, I'm ready to be in a relationship, or two, I don't want a relationship anytime soon, just something casual. Or do men know what they are ready for at any given time, full stop?
Man, that sounds like the kind of question a woman asks when she's trying to get assurances. She's trying to she wants to get told in advance what's going to happen between them in the future. And that's not how it works. Men, yes.
That ties into what, we spoke about this on the last episode of, the situation shit. So we were talking with Mimi about this. And like you said, she wants reassurance that, okay, we're going to be in a relationship.
True.
Oh, if you're gonna approach me, you need to tell me if you want to be in a relationship, or what you want to do now up front. And no man ever, we spoke about this 100 times, even dating back to the old show here where we said,
right.
Never go into a situation saying, I'm going to be in a relationship with you, or this is going to be my wife. It kind of just happens.
That's not how it works.
Out that way.
Right. So to respond to her question, yes, there comes a time where a man can be like, man, I'm tired of fucking hoes. I'm ready to settle down. That doesn't mean he's going to do it right then. That don't mean that his feelings are going to stay that way. And yes, a man can be in a situation where he decides that, I just want to kick it and I just want to be casual right now. But there's no way to predict how he's going to feel 3 months from now, 9 months from now, a year from now. There's no way to know if his feelings toward you is going to grow. The only thing that's going to influence that is what he experiences with you. So it's very possible to go from casually dating a person in 2017 to in 2018, y'all spending the night and doing stuff and going out of town together. That there's no way to predict or get somebody to tell you in advance what's gonna happen. And so when women try to get these, type of what's the secret answer, what's the type of question should I ask, they're asking something that's ever impossible to ever ask.
Now let's talk about that. Yeah, he wants to. Well, he should tell him what he wants to hear. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship with you. I want to be this one. You're the one, and he may not even be that. There are instances where that happens.
Women love getting sold a dream, as we already know.
Exactly, and that's just guys say that because she's telling you just to get some pussy out of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes some dudes know that they're not even gonna get that. They just like the aspect of having a woman's attention, having her time,
right?
Knowing that she'll respond when they text. Like, that's better than nothing from a male perspective. If you're the type of dude that's not really successful with women, or you don't have the type of women that you really want.
I mean, even look at, I think a lot of the men that do listen to show can relate to this. I'm pretty sure you can even relate to this. I know I've met women in the past that probably could have made a good girlfriend, wife, and sexual here, but it just never didn't work out that way for whatever reason. Just wasn't the right time. Maybe just weren't on the same page at that current time. Those things do happen there.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
women gotta be mindful of that.
Timing definitely plays a major role when it comes to establishing a relationship.
Man might be in one place and she's in the other.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole point of the dating phase, to try to figure out if y'all are on the same page and if y'all both want to take it to the next level. But let's switch gears. Let's get into the topic of the night tonight. Tonight, we're talking about the struggle and how men handle new pussy, right? And how that relates to monogamy, because a lot of men, when I say things like men struggle to be faithful, it gets painted in this extremely negative way. And what that really means is, or what I'm articulating is, men have to put conscious effort into not doing what they normally do around women that they find attractive or women that they would like to fuck. And so, majority of the time, they're doing those things because of the woman that they love in the relationship that they're in, because they don't have to do those things when they're single. And so, it's a very drastic difference or contrast between how men operate and interact with women when they're free to just accept all the pussy that they want, or any situation that comes up, and when they're attempting to do what they're supposed to do with their relationship. You know what I mean? And so there's this this misconception that men have no self-control, that men, if he's around a woman that he wants to fuck, that he's just gonna try to fuck her no matter what. He's gonna risk it all. And that's very inaccurate. You know what I mean? And for a lot of men, it's offensive to have women perceive you like that. Like, we get paid to make decisions. We've done things that have required discipline and hard work, logic, thinking, etc. So to think that we don't use logic when it comes to our dick is offensive to a lot of men. Now, does that mean that doesn't mean we always do it, but women don't always make logical decisions with their pussies either. You know what I mean? Like, so we all can.
But I think, I wouldn't think men just go out with their dick in their balls in their hand and say, hey, listen, I'm trying to put every single thing that walks here.
Yeah, I mean,
or I can't leave alone with this woman because he might try to. Now, if you're in a situation like that where you feel like you can't even leave him around anyone, it really doesn't make no sense to be with her if you can't, trust him on any woman alone, or you walk out and you think I'm gonna try to fuck as soon as you turn your back.
Yeah, I mean those are like I just mentioned. You can't really place logical expectations on somebody that is behaving out of an emotional insecurity. If they are fearful that their man is gonna cheat or want somebody else or fall out of love with them, leave them for another woman, etc., then she's not thinking in a logical way, because he's with you. He's got kids with you. He's using his resources to take care of you. He's putting you in his long-term future. Every single weekend, every single day, every single paycheck, he's doing things that benefit you. But they'll ignore all of that and consume themselves with the assumptions that they preach and fill their heads up with. And that's how they end up pushing the guy away or killing their relationship over time. So, and that ties into what we're talking about now, because that's even worse when you're dealing with an elite or a top-notch type of dude. The type of man that has the credentials and has the looks and has all the things that y'all view as husband and father material. Your margin for error is smaller with this type of man. And it's because of how successful he is with women. How he's addicted to the process of meeting new women, charming them with his real credentials, being authentic with them, and still getting them to willingly want to give him their time, attention, and pussy. That's what men are really addicted to. That process, those conversations, those interactions, those, that eye contact, all the things that come along with going from being a stranger to somebody that you are romantically involved with. And so, and from a relationship standpoint, it's difficult because the things that men do when they are attracted to a woman or they want to be noticed by a woman don't change. The only thing that really can change is his conscious effort to not do certain things or to do certain things because of the woman he cares about and not wanting to lose what he has with her. If you can get to the point where your man is thinking about those things, nah, man, it ain't worth it. I'm not trying to fuck up what I got with my girl. Like, yeah, he might look at the ass twerk and talk about how he will fuck her with his partners or whatnot. But there's a big difference between thinking and talking about something and actually putting effort into doing it. And so that's how a lot of men feel when it comes to the idea of new pussy. You know what I mean? Because that's something that you never lose the craving for that. You know what I mean? Like,
a lot of women kind of gloss over this like that, because when they think of when men have sex, they think of reasons why they have sex. So, for that, when a man has sex, he's doing it. He's just trying to get one off. He's just trying to fulfill his sexual needs and desires.
Well, or he's trying to please you. There are a lot of men that get pleasure from giving pleasure to a woman. It makes it strokes his ego. It increases his swag to be able to make you come or make your pussy wet when you not around him. Like, it goes a long way towards how his self-esteem and how he feels about himself.
The bigger point I'm making is like, man, it's not necessarily an emotional attachment to a woman when he's having sex with her. No. Now if it's your lady, your wife, whatever, and now obviously that would be different. But for a woman, he needs to have sex with, 9 times out of 10, there's no emotional attachment there.
I mean, I wouldn't say none. It doesn't usually reach the level of falling in love, and that's what most women want to be. But I think
it has more to do with him trying to get his off as opposed to him,
But see, this is the thing though. It's most situations between a man and a woman that result in him busting a nut don't involve just sex. He likes talking to her. He likes being around her. He enjoys her companionship. And that's what leads things to where they fucking, especially if they start fucking all the time. So it's not just he's focused on just busting a nut. He actually like you. And you cool. And y'all like the same kind of movies. And you can cook. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so when you have a list of things that encourage you to spend time with a person, then it's not just about sex. No. It's not only about busting a nut. That's always a plus. The fact that you love to suck dick is always going to encourage him to spend more time with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, then if you
Right.
hated
But
it or
he-
you
but
never
he
did
doesn't-
it.
But doesn't necessarily have to, doesn't that situation, it doesn't necessarily have to have like have sympathy for to do it.
You said what?
He doesn't necessarily have to, there are women that men do have sex with that, he doesn't necessarily have to like or have feelings for him to have sex.
Oh, yeah. Having feelings is definitely not a requirement for a man to give a woman some dick. If that was the case, women wouldn't have dick on demand the way that they do.
Right.
Most men are totally willing to accept a sex only interaction with the woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Shit, I mean, just think about the stuff that you see on social media. There are women that can sell their dirty panties to dudes for $200 and $300. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
Now, I totally can relate to that. I used to collect panties from chicks I fucked, but I would never pay for them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there are men that will though. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is the world we live in, man. There are certain men are very successful and have an abundance of new pussy and women, and there are men on the other opposite of the spectrum that don't. You know what I mean? Like, so it's hard to understand why the men that are on that other side of the spectrum don't do things to improve their success rates, because everything that it takes to become successful with women is common sense. You can hit the gym and make yourself more attractive. You can improve your communication skills. You can go get a haircut and work on your grooming and your look. Like, there are a bunch of different things. Like, you can be a fat dude, but shit, buy clothes that fit. Buy nice shit. Buy some nice cologne. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are fat Macs and fat
just have the side too. Do you ever, and like you said, do you ever communicate that, step up your mouthpiece? I mean, even now that you have dinner, we have platforms like these, and there are many others out there nowadays. Right from the company, your phone that you walk around with all the time.
True, man. A lot of different things have changed with the way we interact and date, and a lot of it is technology driven. You just got to be able to get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? It looks like we are up against the clock, so we're about to be wrapping up the episode. Those of you that are watching, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, share it with your friends, let them know about it, so that they can watch the episodes on demand and get the wisdom and insight that we try to provide and bring to the table. We're in the Go ahead.
So send those questions in during the week so we can have them on the air next week.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to this new segment. So make sure you, ladies, if you sent a question to me in my DMs, you may want to try to send it to our podcast page, so that you can actually get a response from me during the podcast. This has been another episode of the More Than Love podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate the support. Y'all have a good night.
Have a good one.